How's it going, guys? Today we're back with another video. If you watched the last video, you will remember this engine. This is the Lionel Western Pacific 484 engine that looks like the Daylight, the Southern Pacific. This one had cracked gears. They were like the Bachmann ones. It has the molded plastic wheel holders and gears, so it really didn't run that well. If you remember, I ran it in the last video. So we restored this engine. So basically what I did, I took some of this polystyrene. I won't show you the process of doing it, but I'll show you how I did it. I took this polystyrene. This was the closest that matched the diameter of it, which was the 1/8 or 3.2 millimeter polystyrene tubes. And you can see I cut them to the same length as the gears. I have one of them here. This was the original gear. Or it's not really a gear, it's just a wheel holder is what I call it. But as you can see, it was cracked, if it'll focus. It was cracked on the left side here. It's kind of hard to see, but it is cracked on the left side. And if you look at it from this angle, you can see it a little more. There you can see the crack on the right side. And they were all like this. There's the crack on the other side. So they were all like this, and they had expanded just enough where it didn't allow the wheels to turn freely, and it ran really rough and it would derail. So I put some polystyrene. What I had to do, because the hole wasn't quite big enough in the polystyrene, was I took a 5/16 inch drill bit and a hand chuck and just drilled it out. By hand it guides itself along because it's got a hole in it. And I used one of those coping saws to cut the pieces just to the right length. I marked them with a marker, and I cut them to the right size, and just press fitted them because the axle shaft is a big enough size where you had to push it on quite hard. And I also got the wheels quartered correctly, so they are 1/4 turn from each other on each side. So it should run a lot better. And here's just the cover. You have to take off 4 screws to get it off, and then you can take pretty much the entire motor out. But it should make it run a lot nicer, and it won't jerk around, and it will run a lot smoother with all of these new gears. I didn't have a new gear on the back because it's actually got the gear molded onto it, but it shouldn't make that much of a difference. As you can see, it's got a strange size gear. They had some at the hobby shop, but they weren't the right size. The gear wasn't big enough on the wheels. So I will put this engine back together and we'll put it on the track. So here I've got it on the track with the tender and a couple of passenger cars. One thing that's kind of a pain with these steam engines, the HO ones, is they're really hard to get like the front set of wheels on the track, like those little wheels, and then the rear ones, because they're so small and there's so many of them. It's just kind of a trick to get them on, but I've got my controller and I'll turn it on, and I can already tell it's running a lot better. It's quite a bit smoother. If you remember in the last video, it would hardly move. You'd have to push start it usually, but now you can see it's actually going quite a bit better. And that's about half speed. I can already tell it's going, it'll run about a bit faster than it. So there I've got full speed. It's running a little bit faster, I think. It's definitely smoother, which is the main thing. And it doesn't derail on the corners anymore. You can definitely hear a difference, too. It's still a little bit rough, but it's quite a bit better than it was. Yep, I'd say that's a victory. I've been wanting to get that engine running for a while, and it has been running. It's just not nearly as good as that, but it ended up really nice, that engine. And it's probably one of my favorite looking engines that I've got, and it was just too bad that I wasn't able to get it running before, because I've had it for a few months. But it's a really nice engine. I really like this, and I'm glad that we got it going. So I think that's going to be it for this video. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.